A new midsole, a new outsole, and a new upper. Get ready for some big changes from HOKA Mach 6. Did they ruin the Mach line completely, or is version 6 the best one as of yet? Let's find out in this video and see if it is in fact worthy of your order placement. I am not sponsored and I am not trying to sell you anything. What you get is a completely honest review of the Mach 6. So let's get started. The HOKA Mach has always been a shoe I enjoy for its simplicity and lightweight build. I quite like everything that has a bit of speed to it, as you can probably tell from my previous videos. For you guys who are unfamiliar with the Mach, it is not your traditional HOKA shoe. It's not the hyper plush recovery shoe you get with the Bondi or the trusty long distance mile beater as the Clifton. This has a bit more personality to it in my opinion. Before we get into the good stuff, to level up your running IQ, you can click that beautiful button under this video and turn the notifications on. This means that you'll get regularly updated on the latest and most jaw-dropping stuff happening in the world of running every single week. Okay, let's start with the upper. What you get is a very plush and comfortable step-in feel, a tad narrower than the previous version 5, which my narrow feet quite enjoyed. However, if you have wider feet, many testers felt like there was still plenty of room in the toe box. As a bonus, the Mach 6 comes with very long laces, which makes it extremely easy to heel lock for you guys who want to use that. I know, you want to hear about the big changes. Alright, let's talk about the midsole then. This year, HOKA did a foam switch and replaced the former ProFly Plus EVA-based material with a new and as yet unnamed supercritical EVA that's meant to be lightweight but amp up the responsiveness. The ride felt peppier underfoot instead of being soft and bouncy. This is not the same shoe as last year. In the Mach 5, you felt the softness and plushiness as your foot landed with a bounce afterwards. The Mach 6 uses an early stage meta rocker geometry in front of the midsole that gives you a smoother transition. Weighing in at 8.2 ounces or 232 grams for a men's US 10 and 6.7 ounces or 189 grams for a women's US 8 makes it super lightweight for any daily trainer out there. The switch to supercritical foam gives the Mach 6 a response that I absolutely love. Have in mind that this shoe doesn't have a propulsive plate, so it won't have that miraculous snappiness to it. But don't get me wrong, for a $140 daily trainer, this one is fast. The stack is measured to 37mm at the heel and 32mm at the forefoot, which gives the shoe a drop of 5mm. It is quite a stack underfoot, but the feeling is far from a chunky stacked shoe as a Bondi, for example. This feels much more grounded and fun. So let's move on to the next big change. The outsole may be the most substantial change here. The Mach 4 and Mach 5 tended to wear out pretty quickly. Part of this was the lack of rubber on the outsole. The previous outsole, a rubberized foam, which basically was like running straight on the midsole, showed wear very quickly with no surprise. But the real downside of the previous version 5 in my experience was the lack of traction. I like to vary my terrain and take my shoes for a spin in some light trails as well, which was a very bad idea with the Mach 5. The Mach 6 on the other hand lasted a lot longer and traction was no issue, even in varied terrain and not so ideal conditions. All of this with no significant weight gain. The rubber outsole is an excellent upgrade according to my opinion. The new midsole combined with the rubber outsole makes all the difference. It is now much more stable, safe due to traction, and fast. So what's the verdict? Well, the downside for some runners may be that this version 6 might not feel as soft and plush as version 5. It has a higher stack however, which I think makes up for it. So the midsole is still protective for longer runs, but is this really a shoe you want for longer distances? The answer is both yes and no. It was made as a daily. However, the fast personality makes you want to pick up the pace, and when you do, it will put a big smile on your face. Another negative about this shoe is that it doesn't have a plate. Now, I am a bit spoiled with many options when it comes to plated shoes, and if the Mach 6 had a plate, it wouldn't be as forgiving, nor would it be remotely as cheap as $140. But the most complaints out there are about the upper. Not for me, as I mentioned this fits perfectly with my narrow feet, but the snug midfoot will most probably challenge feet of larger volume. Is this a shoe who will end up in my rotation though? Well, the competition is tough. The model it will have to replace is the Nova Blast 4 from Asics, which is unlikely. However, it'll be a pleasure to take it out for a spin now and again, because all in all, this is a great shoe, and HOKA did a great job with the updates. Should you buy it though? Definitely if you consider a shoe with this personality. But first, you need to check out this video about the Nova Blast from Asics, which might be a better option. If you want to find out why, click right here.